Hey everybody, Jamie Pate here, and welcome to this video. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my most favorite things ever. Cluster embellishments. How to cluster and layer, and my secret for doing that. Now, I just so happen to say stash as I'm explaining my process, but today I'm going to show you how we're going to do it out of our scraps. So, let's go. Okay, today we are going to coin a phrase, fuddle, in the world of clustered embellishments. If you look at anything that I post out on the interwebs, there's almost always, maybe possibly, a clustered, layered something or other with it because I can't do anything flat. I love the layering. I love paper so much. I love patterns so much. I love to just see what can become of all these wonderful things. Also, if you follow me on my Facebook, Jamie Pate Designs page, you saw that I posted these embellished clusters over the weekend. I literally sat here at my space. It was kind of a quiet time of it and had a little background music going. And I pulled out what remained basically of this 49 and Market collection called Vintage Artistry Anywhere. I think for the most part, this could be other collections too. I'm really not sure, but I think for the most part, this is what I have left. I actually made this tag from some pattern paper. What's left of the ephemera, I don't think that belongs to it, but I've been playing with it. This is basically what I have left. It was just a matter of, you know what, I have this little packet of these pieces left. I want to see what I can make with them. So here's the secret that I want to share with you today. I'm going to share these with you. And the first thing I want to do is talk about the formula in which these are made. So let me share the formula first, and then I'll go through these to tell you exactly how they came about, and then we'll do a couple of samples. Okay, so the first thing that I start with here, and I'm just going to grab this, and let me make a disclaimer here. This is not a completely comprehensive way of going about embellished clusters. As I was kind of pulling this together, I'm like, okay, my mind is just kind of going everywhere. So maybe this is just introduction to embellished clusters for today. Let's just get kind of introduced to it. And then I think I might add to this video series going forward. But we want to start with the background. And so I just want to share with you a couple of backgrounds that I have here. These just happen to be some other ephemera pieces. This one too. So they're basically journaling cards. And just because it says bucket list doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what I'm going to use it for. But it's a great foundation. It's like 2.5 by 4-ish. I might even trim it down. Who knows? It just depends on what I'm making. Here is a journal card. And probably would cover up the date just because of what it is. This is pattern paper that I actually die cut. And I'm going to talk about these a little bit too. These types of dies that are fantastic for having elements for making embellished clusters. So obviously the other thing, and I'll just use this as an example. This here, nice weight cardstock, and it has some sort of something on it. Actually, I want to grab, here I just actually attached a bunch of them, whatever these cards are, and these would make great backgrounds. Even cut them up, make them smaller. These make fantastic backgrounds for embellished clusters. So I just wanted you to get the idea of what a background for an embellished cluster is. Pretty much anything. And here's a look at this too. This is just my smallest scraps pile, and a lot of times I'll just pull from here. This could be a really interesting background. I'll just pull from here. Some might even be pattern paper. That could work. I could totally use that. I could totally see doing that. Let's see, what else do I have in here? I have a torn tag. Here's another tag. These are totally make great backgrounds for me. Okay, tickets. Tickets can come in all kinds of ways. I love tickets. If you took a class from me at She Loves Color a couple years ago, you received a whole sheet of tickets because they're just one of the most fantastic embellishing elements that I can use. So here's some examples. This is who is this? Oh, of course, Simple Stories. It's Simple Vintage Life in Bloom. Look at that. And I showed this to you, I think, in an unboxing. And you can see I've already dug into it, and we'll probably dig into it again today. This ticket here is a little bit larger, but it's from Tranquility by 49 Market. It's part of their ephemera. So ephemera pieces are great. These tickets I actually cut from Paper Rose. Has a great die set that has all these ticket shapes. And this is actually washi tape. This is washi tape from 49 Market. And the reason I'm showing these to you, and then this was, I think, oops, let's get in focus here. This too is from, the paper is ScrapbookCom, probably roses. And it is a rub-on from Tim Holtz, one of his rub-ons. And then I just kind of distress the edges. Okay, so what's the point about this is that I will, like this here was already pre-made, and I just threw it in my stash. I'll show you how I store my stash in a moment. This here I made myself because I just love this tape, and I'm like, I'm going to make something of it. This here was already pre-made. It came like that from the ephemera pack and then paper. So one of the things I like to do is watch when new collections come out. Is there any kind of paper that I'm just going to cut up? That one's it. Okay, that's tickets. Okay, labels. Labels is another thing I find myself using in my embellished clusters. And again, if I share with you that I use this, doesn't mean I'm using it every time, but it's something that, you know, I'll just start, if I know I'm just going to kind of sit here and gather things and staple things and glue things together, I might have a pile of labels. I might have a pile of backgrounds. I might have a pile of tickets, just seeing what mix and matches. When I had these guys here, I just kind of started like that. I had a background. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. I had a background. Okay, I might not have had a label, but I had this. So this became, you know, what would have maybe been a label. I don't see a ticket here right now, so I might have used then this little notched piece. Do you get the idea? If you don't have exactly what the formula says you need to have, then replace it with something else. So labels. I have used labels for years and years. Again, if you've taken any of my classes, you probably got a sheet of labels that I said, cut them up because we're going to use them. We're going to include them in our clusters. So this label here is from, again, probably roses, ScrapbookCom cardstock. And I had these, what are these called? I don't remember the different names of this collection when it came out, nor can I get to it. Oh, this one's Postal. There we go. This one's Postal. And it just has all these, I mean, all these elements here. We could do a video on, let's just take one die set and let's see how many clustered embellishments we could make from it. That could be for another day. Raise your hand in the comments if that's something you think you'd like to see. So this has this little etched edge to it, which to me makes it a label. This is a label that this is from a class that I taught, and so I have this in my stash. I just cut it up. This and another one from the Postal. It's just smaller, and it's pattern paper from 49 Market. Again, same thing. Scraps from my stash, and I cut it up. These are the same thing. These are labels that I already had, and this is from an ephemera piece. Very often you'll get labels from ephemera, and so they'll be great for embellishing embellished clusters. And then this is Studio Calico. This is some labels from them. And these are, in this instance, these are really thin. They're stickers. So I would almost always back these to white cardstock and then have a nice, ready to go label. Okay, I also wrote down in my formula leaves. And I think because, as we'll talk about here, every one of these, literally every one of these has these new leaves that I just picked up from 49 Market. And so I'll show you these first. These, I think, really inspired some cluster time. It really did. They're like this acetate. They're not a sticker. They are just what you see is what you get. I've trimmed these up even. So these were cut down so that there was 3 leaves that I used there. And another thing though is what I preach all the time. Now this is a collection of, maybe I was making something and I made up a bunch of leaves and now I have them just ready to go. So this is everything from ScrapbookCom's Delicate Leaves. This is from this here, and this is from Heidi's wreath. I don't think it's called floral wreath, but it is a wreath. And so that's there. This is also from Delicate Leaves from ScrapbookCom. And you can see there's different colors. I'll just grab my little bowl of leaves and just tuck, and sometimes they're just absolutely perfect. So leaves to me are really important, which kind of segues into florals. Now you're going to see that these florals are a little organized, not terribly, just a little bit, because I realized, okay, I need to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Now, there's a ton of this same from Hello Bloom floral. I am teaching a class that's coming up here pretty soon, and I utilized that die set, so I just cut a ton, and then I just had them at the ready, which is the point. Now, this is Stampers Anonymous. I can't remember the name of I'll have everything listed below. I can't remember the name of this stamp either, but it's actually an outline, obviously an outline floral stamp. And I just stamped a bunch of them, and then I just fussy cut them out because it was fun. And now I have those leaves at the ready. And I just keep all this stuff until I don't. That's another thing I wanted to share. I just don't keep this stuff forever and ever and ever. Very often I'll get to a place of, I don't want this anymore. And if it's like small enough, I'll go ahead and throw it away. But most usually I'll package these up in little cute bags and I'll give them away. And so here's a mishmash of stuff, because I also have listed in my formula icons. And so in this, you'll see butterflies and hearts. And then you have some other shapes here that are mostly floral, but not 100%. And so keep them, because they will probably find a way to your cluster. The last thing the second last thing I want to share is notch tags. Now, this is everything from, this is a Heidi Swapp already pre-made notch tag. This is cut off from a piece of ephemera that I used for something else, but to me it became a tab, not necessarily a notch tag. Here's a little ticket, or here's another tab in here is what I want to say. That is cut from, I think that is, I don't know who that is. Piece of scrap, just notched, and this is from 49 to Market. I was going to use it for something. I ended up not using it. It's just notched and ready to go. Are you feeling a theme here? This is mostly almost all from stash, and so let's talk about that. Sometimes I just take my stash and I just go. And we're gonna do that right here. We're gonna take some stash. I'm gonna actually trim this down a little bit. It's gonna be my background. I have no idea what I'm making here. This is super, super authentic. Organic, I guess we should say. It's always authentic. I guess I want to say organic. I'll probably come in here and round my corners, because then it just looks like a little bit more of an official background, right? Okay, so I'm just going to look at my little cheat sheet that I have over here. I didn't cut that very straight. Okay, I'm going to look at my little cheat sheet over here. The next thing I'm going to want is a ticket. Okay, we had tickets earlier. Where'd they go? So the tickets could be too big. Don't like the color. Might be a little too contrasting. Oh, that works pretty good. And I like that whole, to me, this is like a juxtaposition, something super soft, and then you have like this bold number, right? We're gonna see if that works. So there's our ticket. Okay, now I've grabbed our labels, just how I had them earlier. That actually isn't terrible, because see how kind of bring in some of that color again. And the question is on this is, which way does the label go? I don't know. We'll just go with that for now. So we'll call that a label. This could have worked. It could have gone on top. This is a great label. I always love these labels. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? Just change my mind. And this is exactly how it goes, guys. This is exactly how I go about this. Like, not too much thinking. I just play. And in this instance, I just need to decide. My label to go. Oh, I think actually I want it to go like that. So there's my label. There's my ticket. Okay, leaves. Now here's a good question, because I've been using a lot of the green leaves. Will green work with this? On the outset, I want to say no. In this little instance, I don't think so. I don't have anything green going on with this. It's not even the same hues. It's not the same party whatsoever. So, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How about these leaves? Are these leaves going to work? Actually, they are. And see, I didn't necessarily consider these to be leaves, but so far, they're going to be my leaves in this instance. Okay? So, leaves. Check. Now, I have on my notes that sometimes I add in an additional ticket. And I don't know if this time I'm going to add in an additional ticket. I think I might actually add in an additional label, because I can do that. Or do I want like one of the pink peachy ones here, pinky peachy ones? Because that's super pretty. Oh, you know what? I might think I really like that. So then I'm going to grab my scrap paper and a piece of white paper, and I'm going to back this up. I do this all the time. This is not anything new that I've ever shared with you. This is a common occurrence right here at backing up stickers. I love stickers, but I almost always back them up. I don't know. What are you going to do? It's just how it goes. Okay, so what do we think so far? I think I like it. I think this is coming together for me. Okay, so and And please note, I'm just kind of laying everything together. Nothing's been permanently decided yet. I don't have to decide that at this point. So florals. So now I might want a florals. It just so happens that I have a lot of florals that are going to play into this color. That doesn't always happen. And so I might actually want to then go and maybe cut something. And if I'm going to cut something, I'm going to cut some things. I'm going to cut a bunch of things, not just any one thing. All right. I don't hate this at all. Now, do I need a little notched tag to go with it? We're going to have to play with that idea too. And again, I don't have to use it from my stash. I can make another one if I want to, but that is from my stash. It's a piece of pattern paper and I don't hate it. I like how it's sitting up there. Okay, so, but at this point, this is what we're going to do. We're going to combine all these with these foam adhesive square. I've got squares and circles here, and I don't want anything to be droopy on the back, so I'm going to add the thing here's where it gets a little tricky. You don't want this to droop, but you also want to be mindful of, what if I want to tuck something behind it? That's just something to kind of think about too. I'm going to tear a little part of this end off because I just think it's a little long in this instance, and we're going to pop that right on top here. There we go. I'm going to wait and layer those down permanently in a moment. Not quite yet. I'm going to grab another foam square for this label. This time I'm not in the center at all. And watch what I'm doing right here. Here's one of the things I think maybe the big questions come from when people say, I don't even know how you do this. I don't know how I do it either, to be honest with you. Something that I am sort of religious about, as we get this into focus. Notice that this label in the back and this ticket, nothing is completely lined up. When I put this label back on, again, it layered over everything, but it didn't line up. So you're seeing all the pieces at play here. Now for these guys, I don't want their long stem, and I'm going to grab the craft glue and tuck this behind my label. Remember how I didn't completely attach this to the back? So I have room. That's super important to my clustering as well, is that there's room to layer stuff. And usually I would want 3. I don't have 3 already cut up. And so in this instance, I'm not going to do 3. Now kind of layering over the floor, the leaves, and my, what is that called? Label. Now this guy's going to kind of come in here and also be offset and not completely cover anything up completely. I love that. See, and now I have this sitting on my table here. I'm like, oh, I wish I would have cut him. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and pop that on the back because I love it so much. So that's what we're going to do. And I know I've got this to where it's sticking on the back, but that's okay because I will sit it on something. Okay, oh, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, in this instance, and now I've ripped it. Guess what we're going to do? This is what we're going to do. When I make a mistake like that, this is real time here, friends. Super real time. I have this bigger end here. I have this smaller end on the other side. So I'm going to... Okay, so now in this instance, actually, you could do this right here. Again, you could totally be done. We could add this here underneath, and now we got all this room because I don't have to live with that. I don't have to be so super mindful of the fact that there's a hole in the back for this slide. I can just put it wherever I want, and that's what we're going to do. All right, so I'm just going to leave that right there, line it up so at least it looks like it is connected to the back, and ta-da. All right, thank you so much for watching this video today, talking about how to create cluster embellishments with all our lovely scraps. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know any questions you might have. All supplies are listed in the description, and I will see you in the next video.